as I say every single Monday morning, it is a vibe. What is up, nerds? It's me, your buddy pal, Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. I'm not gonna lie, you know I can't bullshit you guys. It always comes from the heart. Literally, the only reason I was late was I was eating breakfast. I was sitting right here, lights were on, camera was on. I could have hit live at 9 a.m. on the dot, but I had an egg sandwich here, and I was like, this cannot just sit here. It has to be consumed. So I apologize. Like I said, I'm honest. And this is also your weekly Monday morning nerd show where we sit back, relax, pour ourselves a nice hot cup of brew, and talk about the news. So before we continue, what a coincidence. He's in the chat right now. I'm drinking out of his mug. Hey, have a sip. First one always hits so good. For your Sal mug and more t-shirts coming, head to nerdaffiliated.com for that. If you've got a YouTube channel, a podcast, a blog, a vlog, an OnlyFans, a newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, whatever, I'm not sure what I said before, but whatever it may be, put it in the chat, support one another, plug yo shit. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy all of you are here. But Dre was the first one. He was prompt. What does they say in the military? If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Dre was here like 8:58. I saw him. He was just waiting. And of course, Sal in the house. Good to see you. Sal says I got to put the pot on, pour ourselves just a little bit of wrong show.
Whoa!
If anybody out there is drinking non-water, coffee, juice this early in the morning, I'm assuming you're in another time zone or you got some shit going on and we should talk about it. It's been a interesting week, to say the least. I say this, I think, every week. Not quite sure. I think I say it most of the time. But it's one of those where it's like, not a lot happens, but then a lot happens, you know, that kind of thing. The Rambling Nerd in the house, Senor Anthony. Good morning, all at the day job. I'll check in when I can. Dre saying good morning to everybody. T3 in the house. So T3 said he's drinking Keurig coffee. And Rambling Nerd said awful stuff. I agree. I used to be a Keurig guy. First voice break of the episode. I used to be a Keurig guy. And then so where I work, right across from me, an espresso opened up, and I was like, oh, they must just do espressos, you know? I think that's a misconception people have. A second misconception is that Nespressos are very expensive. They're not. But they opened up across from us, and I had another manager from a different store visiting. He was like, oh, yeah, we have an espresso across from my store, too. And I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, you should go get a machine. And I was like, well, that's probably pretty expensive. He's like, nah, I'll go over there. I'll get you one. Dude comes back with an espresso machine. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll try this. And wow. Nespresso just hits different. I'm telling you, it hits different. Keurigs, I like the size you get. You know, you can make the one cup just like an espresso versus like a whole pot of coffee. But espresso is just another level if you want some good, full-flavored coffee. So I'll take another sip and get off my coffee soapbox. Sal said, I worked overnights for a long time, so beer at 9 o'clock was kind of like my dinner. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rambling Nerd says, good shirt. Yes, coming soon. Patrick in the house. Saying morning affiliated. LeBron Fett in the house. Good to see ya. Sal saying hi to everybody. T3 says, I used a coffee pot that I use for my garden, so it's not going in the landfill. I like that. Recycling. I like that. Again, everybody's saying hi to each other. Patrick is an espresso family. There you go. Yeah, that's it, Dre. Espresso is amazing. Cafe Bustelo for the win. Yes. So, T3, I am not shaming Keurig. I'm saying when you're ready to take it to the next tier, the next level, that's when you gotta get the Nespresso. The only thing I like about Keurig, I gotta say, over Nespresso, is they're not as like strict with you using like third-party stuff. So you could buy a reusable Keurig pod, put your own ground-up coffee in it, put it in the machine. Can't do that with Nespresso. So that's the one thing I like about Nespresso. Nespresso is like, and this isn't like a better or worse thing, but I mean as far as like quote-unquote open source, Nespresso is like the Apple to Keurig being Android. Like you can get other things, non-Keurig branded stuff, but Nespresso, they don't let you do that. Don't let you do that. Cool. So, like I said, not a lot, but a lot happened this week. You know, I will, you know, in nerd news, I guess I might as well hit the button, because why not? You know, as a reminder, we're not talking box office and all that kind of stuff. I will blur the lines a little bit later in the episode. I will blur the lines. Happy Power Ranger Day. Today's Power Ranger Day? Is today the day like it premiered or something? Let me look that up right now. Power Ranger Day. National Power Ranger Day is celebrated August 28th every year in 2000. Yeah, it'll be. Why is it today? It's an official fan holiday created by Hasbro and Saban in collaboration with the National Day calendar. Takes place on April 28th, the anniversary date premiere of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in 1993. Look at that. And I was going to talk about Power Rangers today. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thanks, LeBron, for the win. LeBron for the win so early in the morning. You're off to a good start, my friend. You're off to a good start. So I will lead off. I talked about some of this last week. I'll continue. Unfortunately, I have to continue. We lost another hero in the nerd space this week. Arlene Sorkin, who was known for playing Harley Quinn on Batman, the animated series. This one is another like too young moment. Like, what is happening type of deal. We now have lost Kevin Conroy, and we lost Arlene Sorkin. So the Batman world rocked, devastated by this one. Since we last spoke, we also lost Bob Barker. And that adds on to Bray Wyatt from the WWE universe and Terry Funk from the just wrestling universe. So sad, sucks. What's special about Arlene when it comes to Harley Quinn, a lot of people don't know this. You think Harley Quinn, you think the Joker, you think Margot Robbie, and you kind of assume that she's always just been there. But no, in fact, Harley Quinn was created for the show. Like after the show was already started, they were like, they need somebody to play off the Joker. Why not give him his own sidekick slash love interest type character. And she killed it. Absolutely killed it. And made Harley Quinn a staple in the Batman Rogue Gallery. To the extent that the Suicide Squad movies are pretty much Harley Quinn movies, on top of the Emancipation of Harley Quinn movie. So great character. She walked so many others would run in that role, and she will be missed. So absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. General Kenobi in the house. Good to see you. He says, driving but listening. Dude, you had a busy weekend. You had a busy weekend. So I know that LeBron posted a link in the chat. So make sure you all check out General Kenobi's bunker. Also check out his Instagram. He was at a Comic-Con doing interviews, popping out toy videos. That guy, I don't know when he slept. Dre says, in the animated series, she has as well with Poison Ivy. Oh, Poison Ivy was also brand new to the animated series. Cool. Sal says, I'm pretty sure at the same time she was one of the only Batman characters to come from a different media source and not originate from the comics. Yeah, because that was so early in the cartoon game, you know. Well, not cartoon game. Like, you still had the original Super Friends and stuff like that. But in the new wave of superhero shows, in the new format, the new art style, you know, all riding off of the Batman 89 movie, like, that's one of the first ones I could say that's like straight up made just for cartoon and took off. Because a lot of other characters get made for cartoon and they kind of just like fizzle, but she took off. The new show on Max. Oh yeah, the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy show. Yep. Patrick says, this will drive me to get the Mafex Harley just for being iconic, and I have no display space for her. Yeah. Sal says, what I mean is she transitions backwards. She went from TV show to comics and not from comics to show. Dre says Harley was created for the cartoon and later introduced into comics as a canon character. Yep. Yeah. What also will be dope is the Harley Quinn, what's that company? They make the 1/4-inch. Wait, was it Mafex? No, it's somebody else. Batman animated series 1/4 scale figure. What company is that? This one. Mondo. I'm pretty sure they do have a. Yeah. $185. This is 1/6 scale, so it's not 1/4 scale. Yeah, it's great. Get out of here. So this might have to be a buy. Have some sort of version of the animated series Harley Quinn. Might have to be a thing. So we will stick with DC for now. And LeBron says, does anybody else keep having to close and reopen the chat? Yeah, let me know if there's some sort of issue with the chat. And actually, is the chat on screen right now? It's not. Sorry. Let me put that back up. Boom. Yeah, I usually close out the chat when we have a guest on just for screen space. So sorry about that. All right, so sticking with DC, this one was hilarious to me. I made a TikTok about it. DC on their Instagram decided to promote the Green Lantern movie being on digital. Now, there's a lot going on right now in the DC landscape. I get it. They can't really promote, I guess, others. I don't know. I don't know what their media team is thinking. But, Flash just came out. Say what you will about the movie. You might as well just keep promoting it. You might as well put some money on that. Blue Beetle came out. I'm hearing good things about it. Again, I haven't seen it. Won't really talk about it. But you might as well this whole thing should just be Blue Beetle. Like, you should just, and there's a lot of it here, but it should really just be everywhere. It should be everywhere. They got one post here, one pinned post about the Superman cartoon. Great cartoon. Why not post more of it? Like, you really ran out of content to the extent that we're going to be posting. Make sure to watch Green Lantern. This guy here, that's the Ice J Fish thumbnail. Why do you make such bad movies? So the guy says, honestly, I watched the first 10 minutes of The Flash, and it was 5 times worse than I remember this being. Wow. And then this paragraph here. All right, I might as well read this paragraph before I exit here. I don't understand why people complain about this movie so much. It was a really good movie. I mean, yeah, it might not have been like the best one, but it really wasn't that bad. I watched it several times and I've enjoyed it. Ryan Reynolds played the character very well and honestly did the best he could with the script that he was given. I disagree with all that, except for the one part about Ryan Reynolds did the best he could. That's usually my argument when it comes to Daredevil with Ben Affleck. The only people that don't like it are Marvel fans. He makes sure to note, I love Marvel as well. Who thinks that every hero movie needs to be Spider-Man or Endgame level? You guys need to stop having these expectations for this type of movie. It's still a good film regardless. Now, could the script have been better? Yes. Was the CGI bad? Also, yes. Every film has its issues. What they need to do is recast him for the role and make a new one like they've done with plenty of other films. My man went in. He went in. Now, let's not get it twisted. The Flash is an amazing movie. You guys can fire me.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
But Green Lantern's trash. You can't tell me otherwise. Can't tell anybody else otherwise. People will like what they like. I get it. I'm a victim of that. But there's no way in your right mind that you watch Green Lantern and you're like, this is passable. This is acceptable. Like, this is good. This is good. So, is what it is. Dre says, me and the family saw Blue Beetle last night and it was amazing. Sal says, the best scene in the movie was when he was training. LeBron says, I really like the Green Lantern movie. I know I'm in the minority. Man, LeBron, come on. What are you doing? Sal said, I've always said Green Lantern would make an amazing video game, and they've never seemed to go for it. Yeah. LeBron said, I like the bright colors. That's true. That's true. There's a lot of issues with that movie. There's a lot of issues with it. And what DC should have learned from that movie that they didn't was your first outing, you might as well make the villain one of the top villains. Like, you might as well just go for it. And, when you saw Shazam 1 and then Shazam 2, it's like, don't give me these bullshit, like, villains. Give me the villain. Give me Sinestro. Give me Black Adam. And if those people don't want to be in it, F you, we're going to make it anyway. Somebody else. That kind of thing. So I think they should have learned that lesson from Green Lantern. Obviously, they didn't. Cutthroat Comic says, I think it's your first time actually in stream, so welcome. I watched Flash movie. It was all right. I still think they could have used Gus from CW Flash. He makes a better Flash, in my opinion. Agreed. 1,000% agree. 1,000% agree. What Flash did that the group really hated me for, outside of liking the movie, was it made me hate Man of Steel even more. It made me hate the plot of Man of Steel. The concept that an army of Kryptonians came to Earth, and the plan of their general was, I'm going to terraform this planet so that none of us have powers, so that nobody has powers, and we can enslave humanity. That's got to be the dumbest plot I've ever heard in my life. It's up there. It's up there. For sure. LeBron agrees with me there, though. I hate Man of Steel so much. Yeah. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Everybody's saying hi to Cutthroat. He says, thank you. You're welcome. It was based on the movie. It was terrible. Yeah. Black Adam and the first Shazam film were good movies. Shazam 1. Yeah. Black Adam. Nope. I agree with you on the plot. Superman could have flew up. We're starting a picket line in front of Nerd Affiliated Studios if anybody wants to join. Yeah. Patrick says, my bad chat for going backwards, but my girlfriend said, y'all try Cafe Uyakano. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I've not tried that. Dre says, I'm biased because I like Dwayne. No. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right, sticking with DC. We got some new McFarlane Batman, the animated series. We were talking about that earlier. Figures coming down the pipe, which is pretty exciting. Again, I absolutely hate whoever runs the McFarlane recording sessions for him. I think they don't do him any favors by doing those sometimes. However, this is a win. I am pumped to have this Bat Cycle. The display also lights up. Comes with an alternate Bat head with him with the helmet on. Not gonna lie. I kind of wish it came with both Batman and Robin's motorcycle heads for $40. I will say, though, right away, McFarlane and Valaverse continue to prove that vehicles don't need to be these wild prices. They don't need to be these ridiculous $300 crowd funds. You know, they not even close. But sorry, I was just checking on something because I was waiting for a text. They don't have to be crazy expensive. So I appreciate Todd for that, for sure. I'm looking forward to photo photography with this one. I think if you really wanted to home run this one, Bat Cycle with both heads, because then you're really guaranteeing I'm going to pick up both Batman and Robin. Now, a complaint on these figures that I saw from Mad Hatter was the cell shading, how terrible this cell shading is on the figures. I agree. Cell shading, not great. But F it. I'm like, you know what? F it. I like that it's a soft. I keep mixing soft and cloth as I'm talking. It has a cloth good, soft goods cape. I like that. And I like, the accessories he comes with. Could have done well with cell shading. I agree. This one, Batman, is going to be a clearance pickup. I assume he's going to end up in stores. But he's going to be a clearance pickup for me. So will Robin. Actually, I might even pick up Robin right away. I could definitely use a Robin. Also comes with some cool accessories. I don't know what this thing's supposed to be here. I don't remember him having that. I'd have to really go back to the old episodes. I think he did originally, outside the grappling hook, have some sort of like ball and rope thing to swing. But that's like I gotta go way back to like the first season, I think, for that. Either way, I think the Robin's cool. I'm not digging this drape over the shoulder thing. Cell shading, like Mad Hatter said, looks like he spilled something on his on his side. But I might pick up Robin right away just to have it. Batman, I think, might be a clearance pickup. But the other ones are good. The other figures are good. Scarecrow, good. I'm a little confused because this is like the Adventures of Batman and Superman Scarecrow, I think. I could be wrong. I feel like that's what they're going for here. Mr. Freeze is good. I might pick him up full price. As a reminder for anybody here who's new, I generally, the Bat Cycle I picked up full price. I usually full price purchase things. I'm like, good job. I wanted that. I want more of it. Everything else, I do clearance. If it's like, I'd like to have it, not the biggest deal, whatever. So I think Robin and the Bat Cycle, maybe even Mr. Freeze, will be full price. Batman, Scarecrow will be clearance. Dre said it is the animated series. All right, cool. I wasn't too sure. But when you buy all four of them, you're able to build the Condiment King, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another character made for the cartoon. The Bat Cycle was $49.99, I want to say, or was it $39? Hang on. I'll check that for you guys real quick. Orders. Here it is. $39.99. And it's still for sale. I'll post a link in the chat for you guys. So if you want to pick that up, you can. It's good. I might be ready for an animated series Batmobile 2. It's got to be a 2-seater. I think Todd, I run into some issues with Todd a lot. And I feel like the things we want, he doesn't necessarily make enough of. I don't know how to predict it. I couldn't tell them how much to make. But I figure over time they can figure out how much to make, what to make, that kind of thing. Oh yes. By the way, prayers to you, Aaron. I saw that you're storm prepping and listening. So yeah, hopefully that does not hit very hard down there. And to everybody else in Florida. Patrick's in Florida too. So I'll catch up with the chat for a second. I feel like he doesn't make a lot of the things we want at times. And I feel there's too much, if it's possible, if it's even the same type. Todd wastes too much plastic on figures we don't really need versus the things we would want. So the Batmobile, the 89 Batmobile sold out, comes with a Batman. The Flash movie variant of that was the one that came out first. That one sold out. Then he announced the actual 89 Batmobile, pissed people off. That sold out. Neither of those have restocks. Like, you should be pumping those out. I assume by now he's working on a Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. It's got to be 2-seater. I don't care how big it is, I'm buying it. I'll say it now. Because I have a feeling he won't rip us off. And if the Bat Cycle is $39.99, the Batmobile from 89 was $90, I want to say. Give me an animated series Batmobile for 120, 150. I'm in, Todd. I'm in. Make it happen. Yeah, LeBron does not like the cell shading. Oh, Sal knows the coffee. All right, cool. 6-inch figure as well. The cell shading makes it hard for photography. It does, because you have to constantly shoot from the light side. So like, I'm glad LeBron made this point here. Also crazy to think that, well, one, he raised the price of these figures to $29, but that the bat cycle is only $10 more. It's kind of crazy. You know, Hasbro and these other places would have made that bat cycle like $100. So if you're shooting this picture, you can't really shoot this angle, because if your light is hitting straight ahead or from the side, there's going to be this weird black lines on it. So you can only really shoot from Batman's left. You're right. It really sucks. I didn't even think about that, LeBron. That's a really good call out. Really good call out. The group chat posted real quick. There's some choppers for sale here at Hasbro Pulse. I feel like I didn't see this before. Cool. Cool. Let's see. Continuing on. Wow, it's already 9:37. I am running out of time. Let's see if we can fly through a couple things here. So it is Power Ranger Day, as LeBron mentioned. And over here at Legacy of Nerd, Daniel makes all the Power Ranger news videos I need. It's how I keep up to date with all my Power Ranger stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the Legacy of Nerd. He dropped 2 videos. One, the Master Morpher pre-orders, he thinks is coming today. So that's really exciting. Really, really exciting. And we may get our first Orange Ranger. We got a orange Power Ranger leak from the upcoming Cosmic Fury. So that is pretty exciting as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Legacy of Nerd. I'm just checking the chat. I won't be able to read everything just for the sake of time. He has kept his prices reasonable, for sure. Yeah, Batmobile Beast was the best one. As far as like him setting the pace for like what vehicles could cost. What they could cost. Are we excited about Valaverse doing the white dragon figure? Yeah, it's going to be a pickup for sure. Pickup for sure. I do want to see the final head sculpt, like not 3D rendered, but I think that's going to be a pickup. I hope the movie's good. I hope that movie's good. All right, last thing I wanted to talk about. This will be a controversial one based on what I've seen online. All right, so first of all, we had a new. Sorry, SAG. I'm breaking rules on this one. I didn't want to do it, but I'm breaking rules on this one. We had a new show premiere last week. By the way, yeah, hit the like button if you guys have not done so. I realize we have, 14 people watching. We only have 6 likes. Smash that shit. I was watching Star Wars. Ahsoka premiered last week, and I hated it. One of the things that bothered me about the show was I didn't understand how old everybody was supposed to be. So the other day at work, I was bored. I was waiting on the line for support for a customer, and I was like, "Well, I'm here. I'm just going to do some math." So I figured out, with the help of Wikipedia, how old everybody is on this show. Just because of who I had done the math for. Anakin's on here. He's not on the show, but he would have been 50. This is assuming Ahsoka is taking place at the same time as season 1 of Mandalorian. I'm not sure when it is, but that's assuming that. So Ahsoka's 45, Hera 38, Sabine is 30. I'm going to be as going to try to be as nice about this as I can. Everybody's entitled to like what they like. 1,000%. 1,000%. And while you guys ridicule me for liking The Flash, and I ridicule others for liking Green Lantern, I do understand at the end of the day, everybody has their likes, their interests, whatever. I feel like there are some productions, some shows, some movies that universally most people would say are bad, but have good qualities to them. Like Green Lantern is a bad movie. There's likable things about it. Again, I'm not going to like hate somebody for liking it, but there are movies that come out that everybody says these are bad, but I like the charm, I like the whatever of it, and we move about our day. The Ahsoka show, for whatever reason right now, is getting a level of praise and love that I truly do not think is genuine. I don't. And I'm not going at any content creators here. I'm not like, this is an attack on Titan or whatever. I was watching the show and nothing from the start seemed fresh, seemed original, seemed to make sense. It was just things. Like, there's characters that we recognize, there's beautiful set pieces, there's lightsabers. And that's it. I truly believe that Disney is creatively bankrupt. I think they are completely creatively bankrupt. Somebody posted a image showing the sequel trilogy and seeing all the Star Wars, like other shows being made now, and how they follow the same format. I feel obligated to watch Ahsoka at this point because of this channel. As a Star Wars fan, I feel obligated to watch Ahsoka. But I was sitting down with casuals watching the show, people who do not watch everything Star Wars, but they watch The Mandalorian because season 1 and 2 were good. And they were so confused. And like, what is happening? What is this? Who's what? Like, they were so confused. And don't get me wrong, I want shows that cater to the hardcores. But if you make it so convoluted that only the hardcores would know it, you're not going to get a ton of views. It's just not going to happen. I have a laundry list of issues I wrote down as I was watching it. You guys already know most of them, right? The stabbings, lightsabers doing bullshit to people now. Like, it goes on. I'm going to say two things. There's two things that when I was watching the show, I was like, fuck you. Sorry, I'm just going to take the gloves off. I'm sorry. There are two things when the show was on that happened in the first 20 minutes that I literally said, fuck you. One, we have droids walking around with city leveling detonators on their persons. 3 droids were fighting Ahsoka, said initiate self-destruct, and she ran away, pulled a Rogue One exit when the Death Star shot the planet to get away from them. If 3 droids have the power to cause a nuclear explosion in a city, why do you even need a Death Star? Why do you even need Star Destroyers? You don't need any of that shit. You could literally make 1,000 droids and just Just sprinkle that shit over an entire planet, and the planet's gone. The entire planet is gone. And I was like, we made this mistake with the freaking hyperspace into a ship to destroy it. We already made that mistake once. Hopefully they're not going to do it again. They did it again. And I feel like nobody talks about that one. But the second thing, the most egregious bullshit on this show, number one, if I'm ranking these things, that was number two. Number one, when it comes to how stupid the Ahsoka show is. At the end of Rebels, Ezra, he turned himself in to Thrawn. He used the Force and called the goddamn space whales, right? The hyperspace space whales came. And they grabbed the ship and hyperspaced out of there. Just out of there. And somehow there's a map that points a laser to finding where the space whales took Thrawn and Ezra. That's like saying I took a T-bone steak, went outside, saw a random ass dog, threw the T-bone steak, the dog picked up the steak, took off somewhere, and then I go in my pocket and I pull up a map as to where that fucking dog took that steak. That is so stupid. That is so dumb. And they're so hard on maps to take you to a thing that they add maps for no reason. For absolutely no reason. And I can go on for days. on the issues with this show. I don't understand the it gets a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 stuff. I truly don't. And I probably should have disclaimed this from the top. I liked Clone Wars. I liked parts of Rebels. I didn't like all of Rebels. I liked parts of Rebels. I liked the ending of Rebels. I liked Ahsoka on The Mandalorian. I like Rosario Dawson. I can laundry list the things I like so that people don't think I'm somehow like fandom menacing this thing. But it was ridiculous. It was stupid. Absolutely stupid. And when the whole writer strike thing is done, I'll do videos on it. Sal, Anthony, myself, Aaron, we were talking about like dropping reviews after the strike is done on stuff that we didn't review because of the strike. But I felt absolutely obligated to talk about this bullshit. I'm sorry. And again, if you like the show, more power to you. I'm not attacking you as a person. I just think that we have to, at a certain point, be like, are we rewarding mediocre things because it's a franchise that you like? I feel like that might be happening here. And I cannot wait until the next earnings review, earnings reports from Disney to see how many more subscribers they gained when Ahsoka came out. I'm willing to bet they're gaining in the month of August and losing in September. I'm willing to bet. Sorry. I wanted so much of that show. I wanted so much of Ahsoka. And I still do. But it is crap. That those first two episodes outside of the visuals were crap. That's all I got. That's all I got without doing a whole breakdown. Sal says Ahsoka is a huge drop in quality. Mando 3 had the same problem. Yep. Cutthroat says, I think Disney knows how to put a great Star Wars show together. Yet Ahsoka doesn't continue. Sorry, you put in doesn't I mean, doesn't, a mistype, sorry. Oh, I think Disney doesn't know how to put a show together. Yeah, Ahsoka continues the Rebels cartoon series. Ahsoka has a few things going for it. Its style of filming, the storytelling is cool and influenced by samurai epics. I actually disagree with part of that. I saw you guys talking about it before. I feel like it's more the fighting might be more samurai, but the visual I think is more medieval. Like if you look at that, I swear to God, if that's Star Killer, I'm gonna lose my shit, and not in a good way. That the guy who we all think is Star Killer, and the other two. Sorry. Order 66 happens. You watch your family, your friends all get massacred, and all these random Jedi are like, I'm gonna turn bad now. Like this logically makes sense. I'm gonna go help the Empire out. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Vader kidnapping people. This is in the comics. Vader kidnapping people and torturing them into turning dark side. Like torturing them, and the ones who can't even survive that to straight up die, but torturing them to becoming Inquisitors makes sense. You take a bunch of younglings, friggin' brainwash them, do all sorts of shit. They become Inquisitors. Makes sense. We keep meeting these former Jedi that are like, you know what? I'm so disenfranchised by everything. I'm gonna not even become Sith. I'm literally gonna help the Empire do things. I'm like, who wrote this? It bothers me. But that dude, R.I.P. Rey, and the girl, I feel like they're more medieval looking in their armor, in his lightsaber, his demeanor, very Dooku. I like that part about it. Like that he's very like old school, like Dooku. So I feel like it's more the medieval route. The witches of Dathomir are actual magic users. Yes, you have a good point there for sure. I gotta watch the show. I agree with the concept was weak, but there are good parts to it. The visuals. We caught shit about our Boba Fett. Yeah, Boba Fett was terrible. People don't even talk about it anymore. People don't even talk about it. Everyone gets a trophy. You have a right to your opinion. I like Ahsoka. They could be gray Jedi. I disagree with you. Love the Kurosawa and all that stuff. Ahsoka's not that. I love Kurosawa as well. Lucas uses several Kurosawa films to influence his work. Yep. Now, if you said Mando, I 100% agree. Mando is clearly influenced by Lone Wolf and Cub. Yeah. So, gray Jedi, like, I get the concept of gray Jedi. I love the concept of gray Jedi. You know who actually hates gray Jedi? Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze Jr. has made tons of videos going at the fans. One of them is gray Jedi. He thinks gray Jedi is the dumbest shit ever. He's like, either you're light or you're dark. That's it. And I feel like Freddie Prinze at times is trolling. Because I think gray Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn, probably the most famous of them all. Currently, I would say Ahsoka is a gray Jedi. Like if you don't follow the Jedi Order to like an Obi-Wan standard, you're gray. Because you're not following the mantras and all that stuff. You bend the lines a little bit. You're not going dark side, but you bend the lines a little bit. So Ahsoka is currently, I think, the face of gray Jedi. Yeah. I don't know. I was really passionate about that. Because Qui-Gon was gray. Because he disobeyed the order and was kind of doing his own thing. Like, what's his face? The one, Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss was another one that was kind of gray. Bylin is definitely great. So here's the thing. I don't think you can be Gray and working for the Empire or the villains, you know? Like I could see you being Gray being like, I have a job to do, so I'm going to do the job, whether it's good or bad. I could see that. But he's straight up like, I'm doing this to gain power. Like, that's very Sith-like to me. But I feel like they don't want to write those two characters to be Sith because they want them to be good at a certain point. They're going to want them to be like, I guess I was wrong. I will help fight whatever this bigger bad is. Like, they want them to do that. Kyle Kestis, Gray. Yes. But Gray Jedi is still a Jedi. So to do those things that they're doing, I'm like, I don't see it. Dooku was Gray before he turned. Yeah. Tales of the Jedi. Great show. Tales of the Jedi. Amazing, amazing show. Amazing writing. But when this show came on, when Ahsoka at 30 years old is on a speeder bike, leaving her own celebration, listening to whatever it was that Kenobi was saying also on his live stream, it took him out of the show. Yeah. I was like, this music doesn't match any of this. And this show's not for me anymore. Like I may have officially exited or I missed the train. The train doors closed and I missed it is what happened. She does the bike slide. They're talking to her like she's the daughter of the dude. You got to come back to the celebration. I'm not going back. The fuck? That chick has run Black Ops missions from the age of 15. Saved the planet. Saved the Empire. And they're treating her like she's a princess to that dude who should be dead by now or in a wheelchair. Because he was old in Rebels. It's insane. I think the concept of Gray is cool, but it doesn't work in canon Star Wars. They'd have to be a complete nomad. Like a straight up nomad at this point where they're gun for hire. They're a Mandalorian that's force sensitive. Do good, do bad. They're a Ronin. They have no master. That to me is how they could do a Gray Jedi proper at this point. But these guys who are like, yeah, I just want ultimate power, most powerful being, like, you're not. No. Freddie Prinze doesn't believe in Gray, but only a Sith deals in absolutes. And there you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, man, what an episode. What an episode. Hasbro rumored to be dropping a Chopper and Sabine retro carded figure, one of each for the Haslab. If it hits 17,000. I don't think it's going to hit 17,000. That many casuals are not into it. Mark me a hater if you want. Sorry. Sal says, my first video here outlines what if Anakin went gray. There you go. Oh, man. I got heated. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We're still going to try to honor the SAG strike as much as we can. I just couldn't with that one. I had to speak out. As they say, the only way that evil succeeds is if good men stand by and do nothing. Nerdy Coffee every Monday morning, 9 a.m.-ish a.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Hey Archer Live. You're stuck with me 2 times a week, 2 different shows, 2 different vibes, 2 different kinds of beverages. My pickups this week, I will say, real quick, picked up some Ghostbusters figures on clearance on Amazon. I'm all in on Ghostbusters. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.